Hey everybody, hope you're doing great today. This is Paul from This Way in the Aquarium. Today is an unboxing video. I just recently purchased a new light for this 75-gallon tank over here that I plan on getting set up here soon, filled with water. So I needed to work on the lighting for this tank. So with my other tanks over here, as I've noted in other videos, I use Hygger lights, which you can purchase from Amazon for a pretty cost-effective price. They have decent features. You've got adjustability in the terms of the light. You can adjust different light settings, so that way if you need to cut the light down to control your algae, you can do that. They've got built-in timers as well, a little control unit that's attached to the power cord. You can adjust the hours that you want the light to stay on. In these cases, the lights go from 8, 10, and 12 hours. Typically, I leave my lights on for about 8 hours. That seems to benefit the plants without letting the algae go too much out of control. So I wanted to try something different, and with this I purchased the Aquaillumination Blade Light. So this one is specifically made for fresh water. Wanted to try it out in this tank here. Now clearly it is much more expensive than these Hygger lights that you can get from Amazon, but figured, hey, let's try something different, let's try something new. The nice features about this light is it's app controlled, so you can dial in a little better the amount of time that the light will stay on, as well as you can control the brightness, dimness of the light too through your app. So we're going to take a look at this here in a few minutes. So with this tank too, one of the things I was looking at previously was I wanted to set up a higher type of light, basically that goes above the tank, elevated a little bit. One of the main reasons I want to do that is because I want to put some plants that grow outside of the tank. I do have a small little pothos growing out of this tank over here with my Julitochromis. I've got some breeding Julitochromis in there. So it's got a small pothos over there. It's doing okay. It's nothing that great. Doesn't have any direct light too, so that's part of it. It does get some light from the light on the tank over there. It's set on some risers, so there's some light that spills over to the pothos plant, but nothing that great. So I want to put some nicer plants in this 75-gallon here, basically nicer plants that grow out of the tank, roots in the tank to help suck up all the nitrates. So with that, I originally looked at some of the other lights that Aquaillumination has, that AI has. They've got these pendant kind of hanging type of lights. I looked into those. Those get pretty expensive, much more expensive than this blade light that I just purchased. I did find a similar version of those hanging lights on Amazon as well. Not as expensive as the Aquaillumination, but I did purchase those, tried them out, and the problem I ran into is that the brackets that they have for that light did not fit on this 75-gallon tank over here. Basically, the tank frame is a little larger than those brackets were meant to be, and so in order for me to put it on, I'd have to cut the brackets on my tank over here, which obviously I'm not going to do. So instead I decided, let's try this Aquaillumination Blade, see how that works, and see how that performs for this tank. So let's head over to another part of the basement over here where I got a little more space to spread out and open this up and show what comes inside the box. Opening up the box here, we've got the light itself. Comes in this plastic bag. It's got these pretty long cable over here that definitely, especially with the tank where I've got it set up over there, in running the power, I'm going to need a good length of cable. So this is good over here. And then even additional cable here. You got additional length. You got the power block, and then plugging in the some more length on this as well too. So I have plenty of cable to run this. I don't know if I'm going to need to open it all up. Let's start plugging things in. Comes an instruction manual as well with a quick start guide. I've got these little plastic stands, braces of sorts to put it right on the tank. I know they sell other adapters as well too, that if you want to raise it up. In this case, I don't plan on raising it up. I do plan on just leaving it pretty much on top of the tank. For my plants that end up growing outside of the tank, I do have another solution. I have to purchase that yet. I haven't purchased that product, but I'll try that out. Build quality is pretty nice. Feels pretty solid. Doesn't feel. Well, the Hyggers are nice. They definitely don't feel like this sturdy compared to this AI blade over here. So let's get it plugged in and check out how bright it is. So per the instructions, this is the power button over here. It's got a nice little light up feature to it, glow feature. That's not that it's going to be used once it's sitting down on the tank. So it cycles between different intensities. This looks like the max intensity. It's pretty bright. Actually, nope, this is the max. So I cannot look at it, it's too bright. As we can see here though, it does quite a bit of illumination in this area over here. So I grab my phone right here. I'm going to go through the setup process. It's got a couple different options. It's got mentions a director, AI-Fi, which I'm not familiar with what that is. And in this case, the last one is a pump / AI light, which in this case I do have the light. So a couple of things that it's asking me to fill out. It's got some, in this case, like they've got a tank name. So I'm just going to name this here, just say 75 gallon. Currently it's the only 75 gallon I have. Hit next. Looks like it already picked it up. So it's already asking me to update the firmware, which I'm doing. Give it a minute to update. So the indicator light here and here is blinking pretty quickly. Presuming that's part of the update process, and I can see the progress on the app here that it's updating the firmware. Let's give it another minute or two. Okay, the update's complete. Right now it's got a live demo. In this case you can even adjust the blue balance. Red. Cool white. It's got a bunch of different more adjustability via the app. So here I got ability to ramp up the light and then ramp it down with this schedule here, and that's what I prefer. I prefer to ramp up and then ramp down. And my other Hygger lights do the same thing. They kind of ramp up. It's less jarring on the fish. I've had another light in the past where it would just turn on full brightness and then turn off to no light at all, and the full brightness would startle the fish, especially in the morning times. That's the only light coming on versus it slowly ramps up. So let's get this put onto the tank and then take a look at it, how it looks over there. So got the light put on the tank. Seems to fit pretty well. This is a 39-inch for this 75-gallon tank. Especially like the length of the cord over there. I do have a bit of a range. I do have a little bit of a distance I need to get to the extension over there. So having the nice long cord on it is great. And as you can see from the tank, it's pretty well lit up. So this is on full power. Obviously no water, so it's going to look different when there's water in this tank, which will be done soon. But overall I like the look of the light. We'll have to see how it is in terms of the algae. It's starting to dim right now. It's on a timer, so I believe it's supposed to shut off in about a minute. So let's play with the remote here on the phone. This is at full blue. This is full red. And this is full cool white. And this is with everything at 100%. So you can kind of mess around with the colorings and change the look. Depending on your plants, depending on the plant's needs for lighting as well too. Might be best just to leave it at the standard. Get the most light for your plants. It's got a pretty slim profile here, as you can see. So when I open this up, open the lid up, it is going to bump a little bit into that. It's pretty sturdy. I don't see it flexing too much. Whereas like I've got this Hygger over here, this one is raised up a little bit. So when I open this 40-gallon lid, this is a pretty heavy lid, but you can see it starts to flex the light a little bit. But these lids are much lighter here on the 75 gallon since there's two separate lids. Whereas on this tank over here, I just have the Hygger light sitting flat. So this is also 40 gallon, but when I open it up and put it up here, it really doesn't interfere at all with the light. It's got enough of a angle there with the lid handle, that it doesn't interfere. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with the build quality of this light. Considering the price, it should be pretty well put together. It's got some good features in terms of the app control, and I do like the brightness and the light, overall light output as compared to the Hyggers. I mean, the Hyggers are nice, there's nothing wrong with them. There's just differences between the two because of the price point. So definitely this fits the bill in terms of a luxury light. Now, I don't plan on replacing all my other tanks over here with this type of light just because of the expense. For larger tanks, like in this case it's a 75 gallon, I'm thinking of getting a larger tank as well, a 125, or one of the other 6-foot tanks. So a light like this would look great. I think it'll help illuminate the tank much better, but similar with this too, I probably could do 2 Hyggers in there and get a decent amount of lighting out of those too. But I do like the app control in this. You get a little more fine control in terms of how you set the timers. You can go based on an actual clock versus these ones over here. You kind of have to hit the timer at the right time. So let's say you want it turning on at 10 a.m. every day. You need to come down and first time is hit that timer, turn it on at 10 a.m. and then after that, pretty much every day thereafter, it'll be on at 10 a.m. Versus this app, you can kind of change the lighting cycle around. If you want it on at 10 a.m., just set it on the app. Every day thereafter, it's going to turn on at 10 a.m. Definitely a minor feature, nothing that important considering it's just a one-time set it and forget it on the Hygger lights. The true test will become when this is filled with water and when I've got fish in there. How is the algae growing in there? Is it growing a lot? But I think with the adjustability over this here, I can control the intensity of the light. That way, not too much algae grows. So that will be one benefit. And then we'll also see how it looks with water or fish, how everything looks in there compared to my other tanks here with the Hygger lights. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.